Hello, Joanne Bonigaba from freedommompreneur.bydesign.com. So you may or may not believe, agree, or see, but I'll put forward to you that I believe that we are in an economic decline and there's an economic collapse soon to happen. And so I want to pose and discuss briefly with you in this video, how are you preparing yourself for the economic collapse, right? You know, there's so many signs out there. This is 2017, and I mean, every month, I think the last 2 years, you hear some rumblings. The last 2 years have been tough in the financial markets. If you go on any of the rating sites, like Moody's or Fitch, the economies of countries, sorry, not companies, countries. So where they discuss the European economy in particular. And you know, there's a lot of information about the Canadian economy and the US economy. And one thing I would suggest is for you to really look at the facts, right? Rather than reading what people are saying and interpreting of the situation and statistics, you look at the facts yourself. And I guess that would lead me to my first suggestion in terms of how you should be preparing, and it's educating yourself. There is, I forget the site that I use, but once you just Google a country name and its economy, this site usually always pops up in the first 5 or 4 results there on Google. And what it is, it's a site that keeps running commentary on the economies globally, and it also compiles all different statistics. So the public debt, a very key indicator, and it also gives you what Moody's is saying for that country and whatnot. And yeah, I was looking at the public debt to GDP, right? Because if you're looking at your own economy, right, your own budget, debt should only be your debt service should only be a portion of your ability, your annual income, how much you can earn in a year, right? So taking that simple formula and applying it to countries and looking at their debt service requirements relative to their GDP, which is their annual income, you'd be shocked to see that a lot of the larger economies, including America, are overextended. Some of them are at 100 and 200% in the sense that their public debt payments are 100 or 200% of their GDP. Imagine if you as an individual was in that position. Would you be able to survive? You'd be bailing yourself out, trying to figure out how you could consolidate or get some of that debt off your back. But what's happening is money is being printed. You know, they have the luxury of printing their own money. So they can keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing to pay off debt and borrowing to pay off a loan on the debt. And it becomes that cycle, right? So here's the deal. I just wanted to share that at the beginning to really give you the analogy and the insight about what was happening. And then know how can you benefit, right? And I would like to put forward that it's a great opportunity for those who are informed, for those who keep their eyes open and who do their own due diligence and create a plan, and create a plan, and create a plan for the worst, right? I think there's huge opportunity. Some key ways to benefit: as you educate yourself, you could restructure your investment plan, right? So, it's said that more often than not, when, I live in Canada, so most Canadians, they invest in Canadian stock market. And I forget what the term is called, but it's basically where you live, you tend to invest more in the country where you live. And you know what? The world is your oyster now. And there is so much access to information and markets. The first thing you want to really look at is your country's economy, your country's markets relative to other markets around the world, and see how you may want to reposition and look at your global mix, or look at your industry mix as well, right? The other way, and Robert Kiyosaki uses this a lot, you want to think about how you could print your own money. How can you print your own money? And when you first hear that phrase, it's like, what are you trying to say? Am I going to get into doing something illegal, printing my own money? No. Printing your own money is having a business that's earning you income. How can you add more income? And a third thing is looking at your financial position, and if you have debt, if you have bad debt, so consumer debt, right? How can you get out of it? How can you get your balance sheet strong? How can you get your balance sheet strong so that if there is turbulence, you are on solid foundation? Better, if there is turbulence, maybe you have cash put aside to buy assets when they are on sale. Of course, there would be some due diligence needed to make sure you're actually buying quote unquote assets, right? An asset is something that creates income for you, in case you didn't know that definition, because some people get caught up looking at glowy, sparkly stuff that looks like an asset, but it really isn't. Anyway, wanted to share that with you. I really am concerned with where we are at globally as an economy and the financial markets. And myself personally, I've been spending a lot of time looking at the data myself and not waiting for somebody to interpret it for me, to show it to me. I look at the data myself, and it is extremely concerning. And it's not just restricted to one industry or one country, it is global. So the next thing for me personally that I'm doing is that I am now to position myself in the best possible light in terms of investment strategy, in terms of assets, in terms of income streams, and in terms of personal debt. And I want to encourage you to do the same. All right, Joanne Bonnie-Gaba here, freedommompreneur by design.com. I'll see you in my next video.